guys, welcome to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome to another preview show, first division preview show. Delighted to be welcomed by Philip Warner and Cian Menton. What's the story, boys?
Hi, Keith.
How are you, bud?
You wearing a Pats top today, Philip?
Not at all. No. This is just a red Nike shirt. Yeah. It's down a run later.
We'll start off with Bray Wanderers and Wexford at the Carlisle grounds, and big opportunity here, Cian, for Wexford, or for Bray rather. They'd be delighted that Sam Verdon actually scored from the last week as well. Great 3-0 win in Cabinteely. Real opportunity for Bray to win this one, isn't it? And really cement their place there in the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. They've gone about their business quietly again this season. I think they're probably going to finish comfortably enough in the playoffs, in my opinion. Big 3 points here if they get it on Friday. If you could handpick a team to get 3 points off, you'd pick Wexford. So, I think they'll win it. I don't think it'll be comfortable, but I can see them winning it.
Yeah, Philip, it hasn't been easy playing Wexford in the last few weeks. I know they got a bit of a thumping in the second half against Galway, to be fair, but they definitely have improved under Ian Ryan, but they do need to get a few points on the board, to be honest, as well. They need to be getting some points, don't they?
Yeah, they do, but I suppose the good thing, from a Wexford perspective is they're scoring a lot more goals. Even though they're not winning too many games, they are scoring a lot more goals, you know what I mean? And I think if they can kind of try and focus on the defensive side now, they seem to be firing up top. As I said, got a couple against Wexford, against Galway. And the past couple of weeks it's been getting better. I don't think it'll be enough though to beat Galway, Bray, with the way they're playing at the minute. They're coming into form at the right time, and I think that they'll get a result here.
Yeah, same. I think Bray have players capable of scoring goals. You see, they've actually hit back well to that defeat to Pats as well. No Bray fans won't like me mentioning that every week for the last few weeks, but they have, to be fair, they have responded very well. And I do think they'll respond here as well, and they'll get the 3 points. I'll go for 3-1 or something like that for Bray. Galway United, Cork City. Obviously, John Caulfield against his old club. Cork's results have improved over the last 2 weeks. Obviously, the great win against Sligo, and even the draw against UCD was a decent result. Galway, good win last time out, 9 points behind Shelbourne. They're there, they're second, there's 10 games to go, but they're just not quite reeling Shelbourne in, are they, Cian?
No, they're not, and they're not going to. But I think they're going to win this one handy enough. I don't think they're going to hit them for 4 or 5 or anything like it, but, they're definitely going to come out on the right side of the result for me. People are saying Cork have been doing well in recent weeks. If you turn back the clock 2 or 3 years, someone's to say, you're taking a draw at home to UCD is a great result. There's something wrong. So I'm going to do Galway to win this, and I just fancy them to win it, and I have no faith in Cork at all.
Philip, it just shows the context, though, doesn't it, as well? I mean, Cork are 9th in the league, pretty much, as Cian was more or less saying there. And you are taking a result against UCD at home and saying, yeah, that's a good result for them. It does. You look at that and you think to yourself, it shouldn't be the way Cork City are. But I think what it is as well, I suppose, the fact that they've been struggling so badly, kind of any result has been a decent result for them. Obviously, Sligo result was a great result, but in DC Park against Galway, it's a difficult trip for them, isn't it?
Yeah, look, again, a good result against Sligo in the Cup, but I think they might have took their eye off the ball going into the game because of how poor Cork have been, to be honest with you. And look, I agree with everything Keno said there. I can't see anything but a win for Galway. So to be short and sweet, I don't think Cork will turn up as they haven't done for most of the season, and I can see them winning comfortably 2 or 3-0 maybe.
Yeah, Galway for me as well. Narrowly, but I do think they'll win at 1-0. Treaty United take on Cabinteely, and I mentioned in the review show that Cabinteely haven't scored in 7 matches now. Well beaten by Bray Wanderers, to be fair. Treaty flying, fantastic result again against Athlone. This is one of them where you say you can't see anything but a Treaty win, and Cabinteely end up getting something from the game. So, Cian, how do you see it?
Yeah, no, I don't. I'll hang my head out on this one.
Yeah.
I do a fancy Treaty hitting them here. They're massive form. The second half performance, especially against Athlone, was frightening. They were superb in the game. So Treaty are they're a really, really solid side in this league, and they're going to hurt teams. And like I said before, I'm disappointed that they're out of the cup already, because I think they could have probably knocked out a couple of big guns in it if they did get them. And so, they'll keep pushing. They want that second position, and there's no reason why they can't go and get it. But they'll get another 3 points to that table on Friday.
To be fair, Keane, they are improving as the season's gone on, haven't they? I thought maybe they'd have a dip, but it's 10 games to go, and they look like they're getting stronger.
Yeah, they've been brilliant. The performances out of them, even the way that they got that draw against Shells at the last minute, and they build it on it, and they just keep the momentum going. They haven't let it stop. So I'm gonna think it's an easy one for Treaty now the weekend.
Philip, what can Cabinteely do here? Obviously, their confidence is low. As I said, no goals in 7 games, 13 goals all season, struggling to create opportunities. The top scorer has 2 goals. How do you approach this game if you're Cabinteely going to Treaty?
Try not to lose the game. Sounds common sense, but look, Cabinteely have completely just derailed, and I think if there's any team in the first division that you look at that have kind of had their season fall apart, Cabinteely are top of that list, I can't believe how poor they have been, and I suppose Keno mentioned it a couple of times. They haven't got their recruitment right, and they don't seem to spend well, and it just goes to show, over time that'll catch up on you. And I think this year in particular, it is catching up with Cabinteely. The other side to it is, though, in games that I've seen them, they have had chances and they just haven't been able to score. Do you know what I mean? So maybe another nights, especially the game I seen against Athlone, Lebutis has a header. Maybe that goes on the other side of the bar and goes in. And I think they've been a bit unfortunate as well in games. But again, look, I suppose you make your own look in football, don't you? And I suppose that's exactly what we're seeing at the moment for Cobh.
Yeah, Treaty seem to have players all over the pitch to score goals. They haven't got really one player that gets their goals. So, yeah, it's difficult to see Cabinteely getting results. I know it sounds funny, but even scoring is going to be a positive if they can get a goal. But Treaty, for me, 2-0. UCD take on Shelbourne at Belfield. And only a couple of weeks ago, UCD knocked Shelbourne out of the cup. They'll feel like they can take Shelbourne in the league. And Keane, I suppose, give Shelbourne their first defeat of the season. Because we keep saying Shelbourne won't stay unbeaten. And maybe they won't. There's 10 games to go and they're still unbeaten there.
Yeah, look, it's great to see how well they've bounced back from the relegation. Look, we see teams go down. Look at Cork now, for example, and the way they are and how hard it is to get out of that division. We've seen Derry struggle in it. We've seen big teams. Galway now are starting to come out the other side of it, but we're seeing big teams struggle in this division. So I think Shells have done really well to bounce straight back up. But, I think they'll put a marker down here on the weekend and say that, the cup game for me was a bit of a fluke. I know UCD played brilliant and I think they just caught them on the hop a little bit. But I fancy Shells to win this and put down a marker again and just put things right.
The funny thing is, Keane, as well, they're still recruiting players, Shelbourne. Do you think there's a need for that, though, to be honest with you?
I've seen the 2 signings that they brought in.
Yeah.
Some, Cameron Ledwich, what a player he is. Yeah. He's a serious talent. Can play anywhere, left centre half, left wing back, left back. He's so talented there. So, you can never stop adding to your squad, I don't think. You can never stop getting stronger. And, the signings that they're bringing in, you're not going to say no if you're Shells, man. Keeping them happy in the dressing room is another thing. But, we've seen players like Glenn McCauley go out the door. We've seen a couple of players gone. They've lost Quinner in the middle. So, the players are gone and it's not even affecting the team. And that shows you how good of a position Shells are in at the minute. So, I'd be happy. You always want to see players being added to the squad. You always want to see, your subs bench getting stronger even, and then that transforms into the starting 11. So, a lot of other teams need the recruitment more than Shells. But if Shells are getting them, what does that say?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Philip, UCD, on the other hand, for a change, haven't lost anyone yet. But I don't think they will by the sounds of things either. Usually lose a few players over the summer, yeah.
Yeah, just reflects that quality, Keith. look, they're not a bad side, but at the same time, they're not the UCD that we've seen over the past 4 or 5 years, and I've said that a couple of times in the past month or so. I don't see a spine about them. You know, you look at them and you kind of say, "Geez, where is the consistency coming from?" You know, because I suppose the last 2 months in particular, watching them, you don't know what you're going to get. You're going to get chalk, you're going to get cheese, like, do you know what I mean? And that's something that if you want to get out of this division, you can't allow that to happen, because if it does, you're not going to get out of the division. And as Keno said, we've seen it year in, year out, with clubs going down and struggling to get back out. Now, look, they could very well do well in the playoffs, and they could come up, but I just don't see that happening. If you look back over the last 2 or 3 years, their squads that they had then compared to now, it's night and day difference, like the quality that's there. And look, I suppose maybe next year they might be able to build on what they have at the moment, and they might be able to push further up the table. But at the minute, as Keno said, I think UCD caught shells on the hop there last week in the cup, and I think things will be put back into perspective now at the end of the week.
So you're going for Shelbourne?
Yeah, just about 1-0.
I'll go for a draw, 1-1. So Cobh Ramblers take on Athlone Town at St. Coleman's Park, and there was actually talk about Carberry possibly getting the chop here, Cian, but Athlone did put out a statement saying it was rubbish, basically. So I was just thinking that myself, the fact that, look, they're still in the middle of building in reality. They're after bringing in a load of more players, aren't they, in the last few weeks as well? So still a building process. So I don't see any need for that to happen, basically, do you?
No, but there's pressure on them.
Yeah.
Like they started the season probably too well. That was the problem. You know, well, there's pressure on them. They have put a few bob in their pockets, and they've took it out of their pockets and put it into the team, in fairness. And you know that there's a really good group of players there, and they've some really talented players that, you know, why can't they challenge? That'd be my thing. Why can't they go for it? Like, I know that people will say they're Athlone Town, but look at the individuals that's in the squad. Look at the team that they have. There's no reason why they can't mount the challenge. I did think it was too much too soon this season to go for it, but you know they're building for next year. But there's going to be an awful lot of pressure on Carberry now. I think the signing of Glenn McCauley could be a good one for them.
Yeah.
He has a point to prove. I mean, if striker comes in, has a point to prove for him, it's great for the club and for him, because you're going to get the best out of him. So, well, you hope to get the best out of him. And I think there's an awful lot of pressure on them here. Not for this season, but even in the off-season and what they do to put themselves up there. But, you know, I can see them being the top 3 next year favourites to get promoted if they keep the bulk of the squad and add a bit of quality to it again.
Yeah, Philip, I mean, it's all about trying to blend them together, essentially, isn't it, as well, though? It's trying to get that, you know, they have got good talent, especially in the forwards, Curtis Bourne, McCauley, Stephen Meady, to name but a few, like, you know what I mean? But you need to try and blend them together within a team structure. That might take time. Sometimes it doesn't take as much time. Sometimes it does.
Yeah, I suppose holding on to players is important as well to actually be able to do that, Keith, you know. And look, to be honest, I don't see too many people sniffing around for their players with the way they've been this year. But like, as you said, as Keno said, rather, I don't sound like I'm repeating them constantly, but you need to make sure you hold on to your players and get more in and build on it, you know. And look, let's be honest, they are able to play some good stuff when they get the ball down and they're able to knock it about. But it just hasn't happened too much for them this year. So, yeah, look, I suppose they're doing all right at the minute, but next year maybe. I still think it might be a bit too early for them next year. I'd say probably the year after I would fancy them to go up.
Yeah, as for Cobh as well, new manager in as well. Fantastic result to come from 2 down against Shelbourne. Do you see a bit of a new manager bounce there? Have we already had that, or?
Well, look, yeah, I suppose that happens sometimes, and look, we can see it. It can go one way, the likes of what's happened with Waterford, or it can be what's happened with Wexford, where they had a couple of weeks and then all of a sudden it was back to what's been going on. Like, although performances have been better from Wexford, results haven't really changed. So, look, again, it's the quality of the squad that the manager's coming in to deal with, and let's be honest, like, they're not the strongest side in the division, and that just shows over time.
Yeah, absolutely. What way are you calling this one, Philip?
So I'm gonna go really optimistic here. I'm gonna go for a draw. I don't know why. I'm just gonna say it. I just think Cobh looking for a result at the minute.
Yeah, I'm going to draw as well, Cian.
I'll go for a Cobh win.
Ooh, no full house.
Just to be different. Just to be different.
Athlone are going to win, guys. Right, guys, thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe, hit your bell notification button, like the video, and comment below. Thanks a million, guys.
Thank you.